Hey guys, and welcome back to the Ring Chasers podcast. Jacob, how are you today?
I am doing great. It is college commit day at school today.
Let's go.
You know, I'm repping my homemade T-shirt.
Let's go.
I am going to Taft College.
Let's go.
I don't have any drip.
I was rocking the UFE hoodie, but I left it in my locker. Too hot to wear it right now.
You know, I look really goofy on this thing.
Oh yeah, you look really
But
goofy.
it's funny walking down the halls,
Oh,
just
yeah.
seeing people like stop and like start reading your shirt.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you know what it says.
Yeah.
And you just see a little smirk, and it's just like, yeah.
All right. Well, let's hop right into this.
Yeah.
Today we got Game 2, Golden State versus Boston. So first game, Golden State played really well through 3 quarters.
3 quarters.
And then they threw it away apart. They threw it away. They fell apart. That's what I'm trying to say. As Draymond said, we're not stressing. We dominated 40 minutes of that game, which is kind of true. But they also just sucked
in the last 8
minutes of the game. But yeah. So looks like Draymond, he was right. They're not rattled at all. Game 2 was a 107-88 big-time win for the Warriors to tie the series at 1-1 and split the home court. That's a really big one because if you got to win both home court. If you lose, or you got to win at least one. You can't lose both of them. It's tough. I mean, last year in the playoffs there were some series that every away game was a win.
Yeah.
But this year it's been a lot of home games that's been the dubs.
Well, the Dubs need to take one in Boston now.
Oh, 100%.
Because they gave one that they should have had away
Yeah.
in game 1. Now they need to go into
confident-
Boston's home court and take at least one.
I feel
there.
confident that they will. All you need is we'll talk about what they need a little bit later when we get to that certain player.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
So yeah,
A couple names.
I mean, first quarter they won by 1. Second quarter they also won by 1, leading to a 2-point lead at halftime. But man, this team, they are the best third quarter team in basketball.
Facts.
And there's nothing anyone can say to make me think otherwise. Like they got to a 35-14 run, and it was fueled by a 19-2 run. And also just to cap it off, that pool buzzer beater, that was nice.
Was it 39 feet? And it's the third longest shot in NBA Finals history.
Did you see the proud father look from Steph in the background?
Yeah, I saw that. And it's funny. It's funny. I was watching this game, and the guy calling the game, Mark Jackson, has the second longest shot in NBA Finals history.
That's pretty funny, yeah.
And is it Jeff or Stan Van Gundy? It's Jeff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Jeff Van Gundy, man, he was having a laugh with him about that. He's like, you remember that play? That broadcast is fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. But so yeah, in this game, I mean, the rebound battle was really similar again. It was Boston won by 1 rebound. It's gonna be a close rebound series. Both teams have some pretty good rebounders. I mean, and both teams they're pretty good shooters as well. Like they shot identical from 3-point, but Golden State was 8% better from the field, which probably was the reason they won. They also had 8 more shots, which was the bigger reason.
Yeah, there's a bigger reason why they won.
One of the big differences in the game was turnovers.
Yeah, I mean
Boston had 19 and 7 in the first quarter. Golden State only had 7 through 3 quarters.
And they finished with 12.
Yeah, so having 7 more turnovers is a pretty big deal, especially in a finals game when you're playing against a team that gets hot off of the other team.
And when you shoot the same and worse from the field.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't be turning the ball. They turned over the ball a lot in the open floor. Like, it wasn't like turnovers out of bounds and stuff or like dead ball. It was a lot of open floor, and the Warriors were able to get out and run with the ball. And that's what helped them get on their run in the third quarter.
So, what was up with Boston tonight? Last night?
Well, Jason Tatum actually had a solid game.
Pretty good bounce back game.
28 points on 8 of 19 shooting, 69 from 3.
Just under 50%.
Just under 50%.
I'm slow.
He also had 4 turnovers. He did not play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So he could have had more, but obviously he didn't play because it was a blowout.
Yeah.
But here's an interesting stat. He had 28 points, but he was minus 36 in the game.
Yeah, that's tough.
And however you want to take plus minus whatever, where you want to take it with a grain of salt, or you want to carry it in a little man purse, like how much weight you put on that stat. His minus 36 was his worst plus minus in his career.
Wow.
Not just in playoffs, in his entire career.
That's actually crazy.
So I mean, he's had a lot of Like, he hasn't had a big or a low plus minus in his career so far.
Yeah.
And tonight he had it, and because of that, or the reason he had that, excuse me, is because of his supporting cast. I mean, after his 26-point game in game 1, Al Horford follows us up with a whopping 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting.
Yeah. Some of their guys that played really well in game 1, they just didn't shoot the ball much.
No, they were not as aggressive. I mean, you got to credit Golden State's defense.
The Golden State defense.
They made the adjustment. They were like, in game 1, they were kind of like, we're not going to let Jason Tatum get hot, and we'll live with the other guys making shots.
But then they realized
that can't happen. So they said,
gotta spread out.
We gotta make sure that Boston, who also respectfully is a good shooting team as well.
That's something I'll talk about a little bit later about Golden State defense.
So Boston's also a good shooting team as well. I mean, and you can't let them guys like Horford, who had only 2 points this game, and another guy, Smart, he also only had 2 points, and he also shot 1 of 6 from the field with 5 turnovers. I mean, he wasn't able to get much shots up, and he also got into some foul trouble too, so that hurts his minutes. Jaylen Brown, he had a big first quarter, but he really fell off after that. I mean, 17 points on 5 of 17 shooting, not great percentage. Mm-hmm. And then I watched the game. I watched that game last night, and Jaylen Brown shooting, he was taking a lot of bad shots, but they were forced because of how good their defense was on him. I saw play with Draymond's defense on him. Yeah. Just hands in his face, all over him. No fouls, but I mean, Jaylen Brown's forced to take a contested fadeaway shot from the free throw line, and it's just perfect defense on him. So I saw a lot of bad shots from him. He was making the ones he was open, but he didn't get a lot of open shots that game. Yeah. And then another guy for them who had a good game was Derek White. He had 12 off the bench. I mean, you're not going to expect him to repeat his 21-point per game.
No. He's a really good role player, so having the odd 20-point game is
good for him. And 12 for him off the bench is kind of what you expect from him. It was more those 3 guys that I mentioned, Horford, Smart, and Brown.
He's stepped up since January when they've been on their run. Mm-hmm. And he had a tough start early year since the trade deadline they got him. He was a little rough at the start, but he's been playing really well since then.
He molded into that role off the bench.
He stepped up in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's played some big minutes in the playoffs. But I mean, you can't really fault White. You can't really fault Tatum. It's really those other 3 guys that I mentioned, Horford, Smart, and Jaylen Brown. Yeah. They couldn't get going.
Jaylen Brown was the one that kept them in the game early.
Yeah. Well, Jaylen Brown's what got them up to their lead. They were up to a 9-point lead in the first quarter. Yeah. And then Golden State just kept on clawing back.
And they adjusted.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I got for Boston's box score wise. What can you tell me about Golden State's last night?
Well, this is a nice Steph masterclass game. The box score will say he only had 29 points. Bro, he's only played 3 quarters, so plays that 4th quarter. He finishes with 40 points, most likely.
Okay, Flight reacts.
Or 35 or something like that. You know it's true.
Okay, Flight
reacts. He would be well above 30.
Oh yeah, he would be.
It was a Steph masterclass. He had 6 boards as well, with 3 steals and only 2 turnovers. I mean, this playoff he's averaged 3 turnovers a game. So a game under 2 and then his defense. I've seen clips of him playing defense. He was playing amazing defense even on players like Jaylen Brown who have the size and strength advantage.
Yeah, he looked good defensively last night.
Yeah, I think he's one of the more underrated defenders in the league, but that's a talk for another day.
Yeah, I mean, 9 of 21, not amazing shooting, but not horrible shooting. No. 43%.
Yeah, that's
kind of what you expect from Steph. Yeah, he'll take a lot of shots and he'll make
he's had a
lot of them.
I mean, you can't have him go 50, 40, 90 every night.
No,
that is rare.
Yeah,
and the fact that he's averaged seasons doing that.
That's crazy. I don't understand how people do that.
I know, it's crazy. Another player that played really well for them is Jordan Poole. He's stepped up this game. He had 5 threes with 17 points. He's the youngest player in playoff history to have 5+ threes in a playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, coming off of tough game 1, he wasn't being aggressive, kind of the first finals game jitters.
Yeah.
Get him out of your system. And I mean, he struggled in the first half. And then he started to get going in the third quarter, and then once he made that shot to end the third quarter, his confidence went through the roof, and he got going in the fourth. And it was good to see from a Warriors perspective to see a guy like Jordan Poole who had been going all season and kind of struggled the last couple rounds in the playoffs, And you've seen him put up 17 tonight against a tough defense in Boston, shooting the ball at a pretty good clip.
Oh yeah. Another guy that I think has a really underrated performance this game is Draymond Green. He had his 9 points, 7 assists, and 5 boards with a steal and a block, which Draymond's not the guy that you like.
No.
Single digits for Draymond, that's not. But you can
Triple
live with
single,
that, of course. And I mean, he was like the biggest thing with him is obviously his defense, but his physicality in this game, like
his aggression,
and like everything. So in game 1, Boston they went aggressive against Golden State in the fourth quarter. Draymond said that's not happening today, and he was there's some plays I will admit it looks like he's playing football out there. He was like,
I mean, he in a regular season game he gets that second technical.
Oh, probably yeah. But like, I mean, he led Golden State to their advantage in aggression, physicality, which I'll talk a little bit more later. But that was like, he was really a key player in this win. He's a key player to this team winning.
Yeah,
like,
he was their anchor defensively and set the tone on how they were going to play defense. Like I mentioned on that Jaylen Brown play.
Yeah.
I mean, there was another Jaylen Brown play where he got after it, and then there was multiple plays where he just took the ball from like big guys like Daniel Tice, or and he's just setting that tone defensively, and everybody else worked off of that. I mean, you got guys like Wiggins who are playing amazing defense these playoffs. You get Gary Payton back in the lineup. It helps your defense. And this Warriors team, they looked really good last night.
Oh yeah, they looked really good. Another player that played really well for them is Kevon Looney. He had 12.7 rebounds, and he actually had 3 steals, which that's like for the big guy, it's kind of rare.
Yeah, 6 of 6 from the floor as well.
Yeah, I know he had a nice game. Yeah, Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes.
Another guy whose box score won't show the whole story. Andrew Wiggins. He only had 11 points. Wasn't like crazy efficient.
No.
4 of 12, if I'm correct.
4 of 12.
But his defense was unreal. Like, so in game 1, they just said, okay, Wiggins, guard Tatum.
Yeah,
he did a pretty amazing job in game 1. But this game, they said, okay, we did that, didn't work. We're gonna have.
Let's not let the other guys get going.
When Jaylen Brown's open, I want you to switch to Jaylen Brown. He did that, and when he was guarding them, between the two of them, they shot 33% from the field.
Exactly.
Which, it's when you have a player do that, that's pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
On the lower side of the spectrum for Golden State, Klay Thompson at 11, but he shot 4 of 19 from the field and 1 of 8 from 3.
Yep. That's
making like he was rushing his shots, taking low percentage shots, and then even there was some shots where he was open, but he was just not hitting.
Yeah, but, he looked really bad last night.
He's looked bad this whole series. He's so far in the series, he's 10 of 33 from the field for 30%, and 4 of 15 from 3 for 26%.
That's bad. I wanted to highlight Klay after this game. Excuse me. I want to highlight Klay because Steve Kerr left him out there to play in the quote unquote garbage minutes.
Yeah.
And listening to the broadcast, they were talking about how you use these minutes to help a guy get going, to get his confidence up. And that's why he left Klay out there. But I mean, there was a lot of plays this game where I watched him just take bad shots, just rushed shots where, say, he's not letting the offense get set up, or he's not letting a play develop, and he's just driving or taking a contested mid-range.
Yeah.
When you could be helping out your team a little more by passing the ball and moving, and then he gets to his wide open looks, and he's making some of them, but he's not making nearly as much as he should. Yeah. Wide open.
If I'm being completely honest, like I love Klay, but I feel he would be more impactful averaging a couple less points and
less shots,
moving the ball. I feel since he's been back from his injury, he's almost been a little bit ball hoggish.
Yeah, he's been taking. Yeah, I mean, back to what I said about taking so many low percentage shots. I can see that, and he's looked there from time to time.
Yeah,
but he's looked bad these last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he started off the Denver series horrible as well. And the Memphis series horrible. But like, he had some games where he came out big later in the series, and I guess we'll have to see later in the series. That's where it matters.
Yeah, I mean,
it matters when their backs against the wall, and there is a certain game where they could have their backs against the wall where Clay tends to shine, and it might be Game 6 Clay.
Yeah, I mean, but you just don't want him to. You don't want to wait till that point.
Yeah, you need
to have to get him going.
You want to get it done as quick as possible. If you want to have a Game 5 Clay performance.
Yeah, just a closeout Clay, or even like just Game 3 to take that home court back. Have Clay.
Yeah, you just want to win the next game, Clay.
Take higher percentage shots.
You want win the game, Clay.
Yes, you want win the game, Clay. Like I just want to see Clay not try to force his points and like just let it happen.
Yeah.
And take higher percentage shots. If the shot's not there, pass it up. You have Stephen Curry on your team, one of the most unselfish superstars ever.
Yeah,
he's gonna help you get going.
Oh yeah,
and 100%. Like I mean, you got Jordan Poole who's starting to find it. You got Wiggins who could get hot. I mean, it doesn't have to just fall on you to score.
I think the great thing with this Golden State team is, I think if Clay halves his shots and maybe scores 10 to 15 a game instead of like his 18 a game or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he does that. Wiggins goes up from 15 to 18 or 18 to 20, or Looney goes from 8 to 10 or 10 to 12, or Draymond goes from 8 to 10 or whatever, or Curry goes from his 23 from last series to averaging 30 this series. Like, I think just taking a couple less shots and moving the ball, doing what your team has done amazingly in this dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need to win. They just need to play that unselfish basketball they're known for. And I think if they do that, I don't see a way they lose. If they play at the right kind of basketball and they just keep their defense up and keep their ball movement.
Yeah, their ball movement actually looked so much better this game. I believe they were like somewhere around tied for assists.
Yeah,
this game, so the ball movement was back. But enough of the Warriors. We're an NBA pod. We're not a Warriors pod. What did you see from the Celtics this game?
I saw that they opened the game really good. And then they just, once the third quarter came around, and Draymond Green led the team with the physicality and aggression, but the other team brought some as well.
Mm-hmm.
They almost babied away from the aggression.
Okay, that's fair. I'm looking at Tatum. I'm saying I like your game 1 performance better than your game 2 performance.
Ooh.
I like your game 1 performance better than your game 2 performance. Yes, you shot horribly, but you got your team involved. I'm looking at that 13 assists. What was it? 2 turnovers?
Yeah.
I'm looking at that set only. I'm not looking at the points. I'm not looking at the shooting splits. I'm looking at 13 assists, 2 turnovers. And I like that stat better because you're getting your team involved. You're getting Al Horford more shots. You're getting Marcus Smart more shots. You're getting Grant Williams more shots. You're getting Derek White a few more shots. It's kind of like we were talking about Clay. I'm not saying Tatum played bad in game 2. Tatum had a good game in game 2. But you're like, once you get into that third quarter, and it's pretty much all the highlights are just Jason Tatum taking shots. You're not
his
seeing
team was struggling. So
that's fair.
That's what any star player on a team needs to do. When your team is struggling, you need to take over the game and you need to take the shots.
Okay, but they scored 14 points that quarter.
Yeah.
He was like, all I'm seeing is Tatum taking ISO sidestep threes. And he's not dribble drive kick trying to get more guys open. He's not allowing his team to move without the ball and to get more open shots. Mm-hmm. And credit the Warriors defense, of course. They played great defense that game. But I don't know. I'm not saying he had a bad game, but I'm saying you got to get your guys more involved.
Yeah, he only had 6 assists this game. 3 assists. My bad.
3 assists. And what do you have, 4 turnovers?
Yeah, which compared to last game, it's more, but compared to what he's done in the playoffs,
he's had a lot of turnovers.
Had some 7 turnover games.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like, I wouldn't agree with you with saying I'd rather that performance because this game he only took 2 more shots and had 16 more points.
Okay, but you lost the game.
Yeah, but
your third option took 6 shots.
Yeah, but you also got to think last game, it wasn't Tatum that won the game. It was Golden State falling apart that won them the game.
That's a fair point. I'm saying, I know Golden State left Al Horford open a lot on defense, and they fell asleep a lot on defense.
Yeah.
Especially in that fourth quarter, which allowed him to get more shots and Tatum to get more assists. But I'm looking at Al Horford. I'm looking at Marcus Smart, and they took 10 shots combined. And these are guys who combined, this is a guy who Smart had 18 and Al Horford had 26. You're not going to see 26 from Al Horford every night, but you'd like to see
a good 10,
8 to 10,
Yeah.
10 on maybe 4 more shots. And you normally see Smart with 10 plus shots.
Yeah.
And you didn't see that tonight, and that's what allowed Golden State to go on that big run because Boston wasn't able to get their guys open.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Horford, he had 8 boards and a block, which it's not like what he has done, but it's not horrible.
No, it's not horrible.
But his scoring wise, you need for this team for what they've been relying on him in the playoffs.
That's how they got by the Miami Heat, by getting everyone involved and everyone was scoring.
They took advantage of Miami having some players hurt and not having the depth.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. I think Golden State has some of the best depth in the league. So
that's fair.
That's why and then Boston needs that. And I mean, you need Smart and Horford to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly hope they're not. But
I wanted to talk about the first half a bit. It's kind of out of order, like a little bit out of order, but whatever. You're Golden State. You're up by 2 at halftime, and you're not even playing that well.
No.
Like, you're falling asleep on defense. You're missing a lot of layups. The amount of layups that I saw missed in that first half was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're limiting the turnovers, which is helping, but you go into the locker room, you're saying, wait, we're up by 2, and we haven't even got going yet. I mean, Steph's your only guy in double digits at 15.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, hold on, Jaylen Brown had a massive first quarter. Tatum's going off. We're still up. Yeah. Let's get going. And that's what they did. They came out in the third quarter, and they just punched Boston in the mouth.
See, that's the thing that's the type of tease Golden State plays all the time. They let teams think, oh, we're in this game. And then the late third quarter comes around, and they just say, no, you're not.
No, you're not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was saying that point from Golden State's perspective.
Yeah.
As in, like, you're still up.
Yeah.
And you haven't been playing really that good of basketball.
That's the thing. Like, they didn't have anyone other than Steph really playing well, but they had a solid, like, they had okay contribution from a lot of guys.
From everyone.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much everyone. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, and that's what helped you get on that big run was everybody was hitting shots.
Yeah, everyone was, well,
and not to mention,
maybe not Clay, but
sorry. And not to mention, Steph had 14 in the third quarter. That's the exact same points that Boston had in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was Steph-erless.
And Steph got going. Steph got going in that third quarter.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Golden State just kind of outplayed them. It was again a game of runs.
Oh yeah.
A game of one massive run that put the game away.
That's what basketball is, a game of runs.
That's what these playoffs have been, like one massive run that just puts a team away.
Yeah.
But on to game number 3. We're moving into Boston. How do you feel? How do you feel about this game?
I think Golden State runs with the momentum. I'm not saying they win both in Boston, but if I were a betting man, I would say Golden State wins 3, Boston wins 4, and then I would say Golden State wins 5 in Golden State. Mm-hmm. Then he has the momentum and wins game 6.
Okay, I'm okay. I like your philosophy with game 3 and 4. You're not going to win both, Golden State. No. Unless you
have Horford and Smart not play well for both those games, or if you got some more masterclass from Steph, and if Clay gets his acting gear.
Yeah, but you need to win at least one. Boston took one in your home court. You need to say, that's too bad, or good for you, take one on our court. We're going to take one back.
Yeah.
And take back your home court advantage. I like Golden State in this game, but it's crazy how basketball changes from game to game. I mean, you've got a 3-day break. This game's on Sunday and game 3's on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You can't. It's so hard to bring momentum over.
I guarantee you, Clay's
game.
gonna be in the gym for hours every day.
Oh yeah,
he has to be.
You need
every player will be.
You need a comeback game from Clay. if you want to win this game in Boston, you need Clay to shoot at least 40% or better from the floor. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you want to win this game, and you need Steph to do his thing, you need Poole to do his thing.
Every player on both these rosters, I don't care how many minutes you get. I don't care if you haven't touched the floor. If you've touched the floor once this year, your teams have been in over 100 games this year preparing for this series here.
You're in the finals.
You're in the NBA Finals. Some players don't get there in their entire careers. Mm-hmm. You need to go everything you got to win.
Charles Barkley.
He's made
in the
it.
finals. Sorry, he didn't win any.
No. You need to do what Chuck couldn't.
Yeah, but and then on Boston's side for Game 3, you need to, like, I'm not saying Tatum needs to shoot 20% again, but you need to make sure that you're getting your other guys going. I mean, you're the superstar. This is your team. You need to make sure that your team is going.
Yeah.
What's that face? Like, you can't have Smart and Horford combining for 4 points on 10 shots, on 2 of 10 from the floor.
Oh, yeah.
That can't happen. I mean, Jaylen Brown, you liked his first quarter, but can he continue it? That's what you need to see from Boston. Once again, I still like Boston in 7 in this series. Yeah, I still like Boston in 7 in this series.
I'm not loving that. I don't know. Especially like Game 7 in Golden State.
Man, that's gonna be rowdy.
Even like Game 5 in Golden State. And are you forgetting about this man that comes up in Game 6?
Nah, I just Boston has been winning a lot of their games on the road these playoffs. I mean, they won a lot in Philly. They won a lot in Miami. They won 3 of their 4 wins in the conference finals were in Miami.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have confidence that this team can do it in Golden State. They have done it in Golden State. I think they can do it again and win this series in 7.
Agree to disagree.
Fair enough.
I guess, we'll see you guys win Game 3. It's Wednesday. Probably get a pod on Thursday.
Thursday or Friday.
One of the two, yeah.
Depending on how soon we can get these notes done.
Yeah.
But, thanks for listening. That was Game 2.
Peace.
See ya.